Welcome back. So we are now in the third component of our design, having designed the domain and designed the system architecture. It's now time to design the class interface. Class interface is also picking up the domains that we defined and trying to find the value objects, defining value objects within the domains. We'll also go ahead to define possible methods that the classes will use, and this will really help in implementation. So let's go over the problem again. The problem is to build a simple backend and for social media app that user can post random thoughts, comment on posts, and like to follow. We had the design here for the domain. This is domain, and we have different entities. We also have the system architecture here. Now we are going to use a different tool, draw.io. I already mentioned it here that we will use the domain design, we'll use mirror.com, system architecture, we use mirror.com. For class interface design, we'll use draw.io. API request design, we'll also use, API request design, we'll use a different tool. So, draw.io, if you have a Google account, is really simple to get started. You can create a new one, or you're going to start it blank. If you don't have an account, you can quickly set it up. And so now that we have a name for application, it's random thoughts. So random thoughts app, create a blank design, and yes, it will save to my drive. Yes, here we have. Okay, let me make this white so that it will be more comfortable in the video. All right, we can always reference the domains that we have. We have user, post, comment, like, and follow. So we'll start with user. Let's look at entity relationship. We use UML. I think we are going to use UML. All right, use UML class because we are defining the class interface. You design the user, and we have the different fields here and type. The plus indicates if it's a public property, if it's a private property, and I'm not going to talk about that here. We'll just focus. All right, so let's start. A user will often have an ID. We can call it a user ID, and the type. Some can use numbers, but I prefer to use UUID. You may want to have a username, or you can just keep it simple. Use the email will be the username. But considering, excuse me. Okay. Username, which will be a string. Let me this. Okay, guys. String. I'm keeping it simple so that you can actually use. We will have to have an email. Email is string. We need to store the password hash. What we can store. In practice, you don't store raw password, so you need to have the password before you store some form of encryption. So we store the password hash, and then I would like to collect the first name and last name. So name and last name. So we have user ID, username, email, password, first name, last name, and you may want to see if the user is verified. So you want to know that it's an active user. You can use verified. And I would like to know when the user joined, so that will be created at, and that will be a date time. So yes, that's basic value objects for the user. We can duplicate this and make for posts. And post is just going to be simple. We need to know have post ID and content. Yes, content. We have much string. We don't need, since it's random starts, this UUID because the user is actually UUID. So you can delete this, and we just have created that. We want to know when it was created. We are not interested. I don't think we are going to support editing the post. So, and then we have posts. When the post is made, we need to have a comment. So allow users to comment. It's still going to be similar, but in this case, we're going to comment ID, comment, and then same content, auto is going to auto. We're going to find the post ID related to this and the auto ID. That's it. Created date time. Yes. So we have this. And then somebody will have the next. The fourth one is someone that likes the posts. So we need to consider the like and class. Oh, we don't. So like ID. Post. So we don't need these. We just need the user ID, the user that like the post, and then we need whether the user like the post or item ID, whether it's a post, it could be a post. It could also be a comment. In this case, so item ID, and then we need to have the item type. So yeah, item type. So do we need this? We're not really interested in it. So yeah. Okay, just that. So mind you, the item type can actually is going to be a string. It could be post or comment. All right, so we have one more, follow. You want to follow a user, looks like this. So we need to little difference, so we need to follow. So need to ID. ID can be a composite key. This is follow. Follow ID, and then we have follow what ID user is following, and then we have the follow we. ID, which is UUID. Everything is UUID, because this could be a composite key. To keep it unique, just use it as string. And with that, we have been able to define all the value objects. That's the first part of it. The second part is defining the core methods that each of these classes of these interfaces will have. And I'm just going to define the basic ones. As we progress in the implementation, we can actually come up with more. So first one will be, we want to be able to create a user, and it's going to use a partial user object and should not return anything. So not return anything. Then next one, we want to get a user. We will need user ID. So this we want to define. This will be user, and the type is user itself. And then we need this is going to be a string, and it should return a user object. Next is login. Login you have to define what we call, so login will take a username. So and password. user will be a subclass of this. Okay. So we have covered create user, get user, and login user. So this create user is more like sign up. Can call it register. Create user, get user, login user. That's fine. Then we have to look at the post. What do we have? Posts. We should be able to make a post. So we have create post. Keep it simple. It's going to be post. Exactly the type of post, and should return nothing based on get posts, and this will be a simple string, and should return a post object. You have another one. Yes, we will need to display fits, so you can have get latest as most recent post. You can keep it simple without any definitions and just return whatever you choose. Is a list of posts, and you can also get posts by particular author, get by author. So if I want to view only my posts, I can get you pass author ID, and yes, and that will be string, and that should return a list of posts. So yes, with this we are able to define basic methods in the interface. So let's look at like it's pretty simple. We want to like new. You can also use new, and it's going to be like, and so it's going to be like object and return null. See, it doesn't return anything. And next one, we want to be able to get count. How many likes does a post have? You just pass the item ID. Maybe okay, just put it all. Right. Count is more descriptive. And this will be item ID, which is going to be a string, and this should return a number. Yes. Okay. right? We can also have delete. See this view. We'll just return need to pass whatever. You need to pass the user ID and the item ID. So remove it. Same, we can also have delete post here. Use this instead. Delete post should read post should return no. And that's it. So we have been able to cover user posts and like. Next, we look at comments. You should be able to create comments. Creation is do we want to be able to should return nothing. And okay, wrong. This is create, and this is a comment. And we should be able to get 5 posts. Yes, we are now looking for a single comment, so we just pass the post ID, and we can get post ID is a string, and we can get lists of comments. Yes, that's all we need. Question is, do we want to enable users to delete comments? Maybe no. So I think we may not want to. So that's just optional. So yes, how about following? New follower, I have a new follower. Like, you are going to click on the subscribe button right now, so that I have a new follower, and follow we already defined the type, so you inherit the type that is defined up. Yes, usually when you're creating, there is no need to return an object. Right, so we have get followers, and what do you pass? You pass the follower ID. And if you want to get following, how many people are following me? Or the people that I follow. So you pass the follower ID. And that's it's all that we need to define the class interface design. So we have the user, we have the post, we have a like, follow, and comments. Most of the aggregates will actually inherit from this, but right now we have been able to define the core of the class interface. Thank you for being patient and riding along with me in this design. See you in the next one.